Well, we'll move on. Mark's not there. We'll wait for him to call us. Let's move over here to, I want to, let's talk about this. I got to talk about this, my friends. All right. This is fascinating to me. So I'm watching Kristen Welker on Meet the Press on Sunday. So, I'm with the family, and my Sundays are still my Sundays. I get up, I jump up early. Couldn't watch Georgia Gang because I wasn't in the state. My YouTube TV, is local. So I got up early and I watched some of the local political shows in Washington, D.C., and they have several. They're pretty decent. And then I watched Meet the Press. Went down. We went down to D.C. after we spent a couple days with AMAC, the lawyer's parents, and we went down to D.C. and went downstairs in the hotel and grabbed some coffee and some breakfast, and then watched Meet the Press. And so I see Kristen Welker, and she had Senator Murphy on from Connecticut. Senator Murphy saying Kash Patel is the worst pick ever. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, that's fair. You could say that. I mean, everyone has an opinion, right? The president gets to pick. He picks who he wants. But then I hear her talking about the same words. They're using these, you got to look for these buzzwords. Trump loyalists. Deep state. He wants to go after the deep state. They're dropping these terms, right? And they're doing it on purpose. Because I'm thinking to myself, well, who would Trump pick? The last time he was there, he didn't pick loyalists. He picked people who were diametrically opposed to what it was he was trying to do. And he made that mistake the first time. He's not going to make it again. But they use this term Trump loyalist as if it's a bad thing. Most presidents pick people who are loyal to their mission, loyal to them. They're not going to backstab them. They're not going to leak on them. They're not going to write books after they get out of office talking badly just to sell books. They're not going to do that. They're not going to be in bed with the intelligence community. They're not going to be in bed with the deep state elites. They're going to be for this guy. And I want that. I don't want him to make the same mistake he made in 2016. I want him to pick loyalists. That's who I want him to pick. And I met Kash Patel. Let me tell you my story. I met Kash Patel a couple weeks before the election. I spoke at a log cabin Republican event, and he was one of the speakers as well. That's when I met Marla Maples was at that same event. And I've been trying to get Mr. Patel on. Our schedules haven't been able to click, and I reached out to them after the pick, and they said they're not doing any interviews right now, but you're on the list. I said, okay, I appreciate it. So I'm waiting to get him on the show. But I talked to him for a good 20 minutes, just he and I, backstage at this event. Everybody else was milling about, having conversations, and he and I talked for a long time. And one of the things that I got from him was that he wants to set things straight. You remember in the last couple segments ago, I asked Carolyn Bordeaux, I said, Carolyn, how can we fix this? How can we fix this politicization of government? How can we fix it? And you noted her answer. Well, that's going to be a tough haul. She's right. But this is one of the things Kash Patel wants to do. Now, the way you do that is by getting rid of the corruption. And I'm thinking to myself, why would people, particularly on the left, who has always traditionally seen the government as corrupt, why are they so outraged at this pick? Is it because they know they're dirty? Andrew McCabe, you know you got some skeletons in the closet. John Bolton, you know you're going down. You know you're corrupt. These guys are outraged. Oh, my God, it's the worst pick ever. I thought Matt Gaetz was the worst pick ever. And so it goes back to why take away from the fact that I met Mr. Patel and we spoke for a moment, I see what he's doing. I see what he wants to do, and I'm all for it. And it's kind of the way I started to like Donald Trump. If all the people I distrust, Andrew McCabe, Kristen Welker, Senator Murphy, John Bolton, the warmonger himself, if all those people are outraged at Kash Patel being the FBI director, then I'm tripling down on Kash Patel for the FBI director. Because if the people that have been lying to me over decades, the people who have done unsavory things all around this country for decades, the organization, the agency that went after Martin, Malcolm, Marcus, or not Marcus because he wasn't around, but the people that went after the anti-war movement, the people that inserted themselves in movements that were trying to help people, whether they're black, white, poor, rich, whatever. They were trying to help the people. And this agency historically inserted themselves into these groups to cause mayhem and chaos and to drive a wedge in between the leaders of these groups. If that agency is opposed to Kash Patel becoming the director, then I'm all the way in for Kash Patel for the FBI director. And let me end with this. It is fascinating to me, my friends. It is absolutely the most fascinating thing I've ever seen in my entire life. To see African Americans at all levels decrying reformation of this country, of the government, of the bureaucracy. Anybody in the African American community that believes health outcomes could be fixed, educational outcomes could be fixed, economic empowerment outcomes can be fixed. Why in God's name would you jump up and down and not want it reformed by people from outside these traditional institutions? Why would you continuously defend the empire while calling me a sellout? Shelley Winter Show.